The first exercise is a plank to get a flat stomach. Plank is an isometric core strength exercise that involves maintaining a position similar to push-up for the maximum possible time. Plank is a great exercise for strengthen the core. Can you do push-up? That means you can also do plank. Let's see how to do it.
To do the perfect plank. Now the plank, it's one of the simplest, most effective abdominal exercises that you can do anytime, anywhere. Elsa's going to demonstrate. She's actually going to show mistakes people make when they start doing the plank. So there's two things generally that people do. The hips are either too high, as she's showing you right here, or too low, where you're sagging. She will now come up into a nice, perfectly straight line from her shoulders through her feet. That is your goal. This is one way to do it. Another modification is to do straight arms. So Elsa will come up into straight arms, perfectly straight line from her shoulders, though, still down through her feet. That is a great way to do it. Now with the plank, you're going to build up over time. You may start doing 10 seconds, 15 seconds. That's great. Over time, you're going to build up to a minute, minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes. You're going to do that a couple times a week, and that is simply one of the greatest, simplest ways to really strengthen your core.
The second exercise is a bicycle crunch. Bicycle crunch is an excellent exercise for core strength building and losing weight. Let's see how to do it.
Hi, I'm going to show you how to do the bicycle. Grab onto the back of your legs, roll it down slowly. Back is on the ground. One knee comes up, one leg extends. If you need to modify, you're going to lay your hands down by your sides. You're just shifting from one leg to the other as you go like you're on a bicycle. Reach through the tips of your toes, lengthen the core. Level 2 is going to go shoulder towards knee. Elbows are out nice and wide. I want you to really focus on rotating. These are into your obliques. These are the working muscles, internal, external oblique. So you went shoulder crossing over to the kneecap and switch. The higher the feet, the easier. The lower the legs, the more challenging. So the more parallel you become to the floor, the harder it's going to become. Things to avoid. You don't want to lace your fingertips, putting pressure on the neck. Open them out nice and wide. Exhale as you switch and inhale. So you're always taking one full breath on each rotation. Keep the elbows out nice and wide. We want to avoid choking the neck. You're going shoulder to knee as you rotate. Really focus on lifting into those shoulders, coming up as high as you comfortably can. The higher you lift, the deeper the contraction. Exhale and inhale. And that is how you perform the bicycle.
The third exercise is a flutter kicks. Flutter kicks is a kicking movement used in both swimming and calisthenics. The flutter kicks is a one type of best cardio and great exercise for lower body. Let's see how to do it.
Leg flutters or flutter kicks. And basically what you're going to do is you're going to lay down on your back. Put your hands down by your side. You're going to make sure that your back is flat against the floor. All right, and what you're going to do is there's two different variations of doing this, and what it's going to do is it's going to work your legs, but we're also going to work the core, because the core is what's keeping your legs up off the ground. So we're going to lift, and we're either going to kick like this. Make sure that you're breathing the entire time. Your core is tight. Your legs are straight. You're working your legs, your core, you're kicking, or you can go back and forth, just like this, which are more like scissors, flutter kicks, back and forth. This is a great exercise to work your legs and your core. Basically, hold it for about 20 to 30 seconds and then rest. And you can do 2 to 3 sets of this for about the same amount of time, and you're gonna really feel it burn after a while. So up. Now when you do the flutter kicks, make sure that your back is flat against the floor. Because if you arch, you might feel a little bit of pain in your lower back while you're doing the exercise. If you feel pain, stop what you're doing because you want to listen to your body. You don't want to push any farther. So just make sure that your form is correct when you're doing these exercises, because the last thing we want to do is injure ourselves, which will put us out for days upon weeks, and then we really get nowhere in the end. So basically make sure your back is flat, core is tight because your core is supporting it, and make sure that you don't have any pain in your lower back.
The fourth exercise is a side plank. The side plank is a great exercise for strengthening the oblique abdominal muscles. Let's see how to do it.
How to do a side plank. So there are a couple of ways you can do a side plank. I'm going to start with the basic, I wouldn't say regression, but this is good for beginners. Number one, your elbow has to be completely under your shoulder. You want to make sure your alignment is always intact. Your elbow should be right under your shoulder. Okay, you keep your arms flat like this, your hand flat like this. Now, for a beginner, you can keep your knees on the ground. You can stack your legs like so, and you're gonna lift from your hips. You could either keep your hand on your hip like this, or you can raise your arm up to the sky. Now, this can be challenging for a lot of people, this alone. You wanna make sure you're squeezing from your glutes. You wanna make sure that your hips are going up to the sky as much as you can, as if somebody had a string around your hips and they were pulling you up. Now, you could hold this for 30 seconds or 1 minute. If you find that to be too easy, you can go into a normal side plank. A couple ways you can do this. Again, your shoulder under your elbow or your elbow under your shoulder, feet stacked, and you can lift from here. Your hand can stay on your hip, or you can put your arm up like that. Again, you want to make sure that your hips are going up to the sky. You're very active in this. I don't want to see you down here like this. Your hips should be up the whole time you're squeezing your glutes. If you want, you can also do it, you guys do this a lot in yoga, on your hand. This is just more shoulder, okay? When you're on your forearm, it's more core. Now, an even more harder version, more difficult version, would be to go back to your forearms, come up. You can do variations with your arms to make this more challenging. So you could reach underneath you, come back up, reach underneath you, come back up. Let's say for 10 reps, you could come up and down with your hips, or you could do something called the starfish side plank and hold that guy. And that's how you do a side plank.
The fifth exercise is a Russian twist. The Russian twist is a type of exercise that is used to work the abdominal muscles by performing a twisting motion on the abdomen. Let's see how to do it.
Okay, now I am going to demonstrate how to do a Russian twist. And what you're going to start with is your feet flat on the floor, 90-degree angle, and then you're going to kind of tilt backwards and lift them off the floor, about 45 degrees, okay? And you're going to twist. Pretend you could either actually just do it with your body weight, or if you had a medicine ball or a dumbbell, you can do that variation as well to add weight of resistance. But you're going to twist. Try to look straight ahead, so you're not really kind of getting dizzy, so to speak. You just want to look straight ahead, twist your torso, not your head, keeping your neck neutral, okay? And you can do this for about a minute. Try it for a minute if you can. You can always work up to a minute if it's still too difficult. But everything starts in moderation. So you can always, progression is the most important part of anything when you exercise. You always have to start where you can keep up with it, and then you can make it more advanced, okay? So notice I still lean slightly back, and I'm exhaling as I twist. So on the contraction is when you turn the torso. Try to be careful and not move your legs. You want to keep them as still as possible when you're twisting. Okay, that will create the sense of feeling it more in the oblique region when you twist. And that is the proper way to do a Russian twist.